Draw simple, easy.
Well, hello there guys. Today we're going to be drawing a quick, simple, easy picture of Brook, the undead pirate crewmate from One Piece. So get yourself a piece of paper and start by drawing a fairly large circle right in the middle. Now this circle isn't going to be the middle of Brook's head, it's going to be the middle of his hair. And I recommend ever so slightly make the circle a little bit flatter than it is wide, just a little bit squeezed down. And we're going to map out all the different parts of Brook into this circular space because, to be fair, he's got some very difficult panicky little bits that you have to try to get right. So get your circle in, and then let's split it in half straight down the middle, and we're going to split it in half straight across into quarters, and then we're going to do the same into eighths. About an eighth of the circle up here, and about an eighth of the circle down here. And then in a very similar way, I'm going to take an eighth right in the middle. So if you imagine this line of space here, I'm going to just create a tube right down the middle, around about here, and this is just going to help me map out exactly where we're going to be fitting in Brook's skull. So with Brook, we can have a circle that fills up most of this top section here. I'm going to go slightly larger than this top section, but using that square that I've made, I'm going to have the top part of Brook's skull around about here, and because he always has a really great big mouth, it's probably going to drop all the way down to halfway through the bottom part of this box. It's quite a odd percentage to map out, but this is how low things are going to go for Brook. Now with his skull shape, if we just take the halfway point of this circle and right in the middle, we're going to fit maybe a circle for an eye here, a circle for an eye here. We're going to slightly change up these shapes, but we're starting off by really loosely mapping everything around. And just where we've got the bottom of these circles, let's just put in a really small upside down heart. And that's going to be Brook's nose. And then right below that, I'm going to create an arc that comes up and around. Again, I'm starting from the bottom points of this really rough guideline, a really gentle arc that goes around, which is going to be where his teeth come down from. And then I'm going to go just below this line and get a fairly straight line around about here to mark off where his teeth drop down to. And again, with these circle shaped, if I use this as a guiding line down here and down here, that's about how wide this teeth area is going to be. It's quite difficult to get a feel for, but basically get that circle in, go halfway, and then just split it down into half and half again and half again. Do the same going up, and that's how we're going to map it. Now with Brook's eyes, they're a bit more of a kind of weird skull shape, so I'm just going to very lightly flatten off the bottom ever so slightly of each eye, and I'll do each section together. And then I'm still going to come up with a curve around the outside edge, but I'm going to widen and curve off the top. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's just a very rough idea to show that there's all sorts of bones and shapes going on there with Brook. Maybe a line that just comes up in there and in there. And of course those eyes are going to be in black. Now I'm going to then go around the outside edge of these eyes, right about here on the inside of the circle, and just bring that round to be the inside shape of the skull. Just going to flatten that off and get a cheeky bit of cheekbone in. So I'm going to bump right out, right on the level where I've got the nose. I'm just going to bump right out about here and right out about here as well, and just get a line in there just to show that there's this cheekbone lump that sticks right out here of this character before it just goes off into another little bump down where the jaw is. Excellent. Now he's also got a crack in his skull, so I'm just going from the top left. I'm just going to draw a squiggly line that has a bump up in the middle like so, and makes its way down to that eye. So bumps there, some kind of squiggle. Lovely. Once we've got that in, we can just split this teeth zone down the middle, straight line there, and then we're going to just fit 3 teeth in either side. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3 with 2 extra lines, an extra line here and an extra line there. Then I'm just going to curve off the top of each of the teeth like so. Excellent. And then we're just going to drop a straight line that comes right down from the inside edge of this tooth and right down on the edge of this tooth as well, and that's just going to be really thin and show the jawbone as it comes all the way down. Now the bottom part of the mouth is going to be around about this bottom quarter zone. So let's just check. It's all in focus on the camera phone, great. And let's just fit in another part of the jaw here. So if we start from the top of the teeth, around about this point, I'm just going to do the opposite to what I did here. I'm going to, instead of just above this line of a slight curve, I'm going to go just below this line with another slight curve. And again, split it in half and then split it into 3 more sections with 2 lines on each side and curve off the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Excellent. Now again, this jaw goes out with a bump on either side and it comes into this downward flat chin point around about here and a line about there just to show where it lumps out. So far so good. We're slowly getting a bit of an idea at least. Now with Brook as well, he's got all sorts of things going on and all sorts of shapes, which is a bit of a pain, but we'll map them all in very, very generally. We've got this height of Brook's head and we've got this width, and this is still going to be a bit of a guiding line that comes all the way down off the page, because right down the front we've got his neck chief and then his suit and all the bits come off the side. What I'm also going to do is, where I've got this halfway line on this circle, if I imagine that I'd quartered this circle, one there and one there, this is going to tell me how wide Brook's body is. So I'm just going to bring another guiding line down here and another guiding line down here, and we can break down loads of different things into all of these shapes to get a feel for it. So I'm going to actually just imagine that we've got the shoulder coming in just where the bottom of this circle is, just like that, and then I'm going to just give it a little bit more shape so it just curves up about here, like so, like so. And Brook's arms will be coming off straight out to the side and straight back in because he's got these long thin arms. Now in this one, if we just go to this shoulder line here where we've just got this curve, and we're just going to map in right across this space around about here, just this very wide curve. It's going to go down a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfectly high or perfectly low, but I'm just going to bring it into a shape like this. I'm just going to draw 3 circles, 1 and then 2 that go right across, and 3. And this is the pin that he uses on his neck chief. Probably has a little bit of edge just below each one. And then I'm just going to fan out. I'm going to take this about halfway down to the bottom of the page. I'm just going to fan out a shape that curves around about here. Looks a bit like an hourglass. And then I'm just going to fan out another shape a bit longer. It does something really similar as it goes off the bottom. And the reason I've created these guiding shapes is because it allows me to just do this slightly difficult wavy pattern that is the neckerchief. So you don't have to do it exactly like this, but I'm just going to create a wobbly wavy line that roughly follows the shape of this circle, just like so. And then if I go down the bottom and split it in half, I'm going to have a lump that goes down and in and down, just a wobbly line here, a really similar thing here, a wobbly line there. The less symmetrical it is, the better. And then when we've got the bits coming off here, I'm just again creating a really wobbly line that goes off the bottom of the page like so. And now that I've got all these wobbles in, I'm just going to draw some lines that go up towards them, just like so. And it just shows how all the material is creased. On the bottom 2 bits, I'm going to have a line that comes out about just more than halfway, 1 and 2, like so, and again 1 and 2. And now we know this is all material. Then just another one that maybe comes out about here, maybe a line that comes up to show where it's all folding and creased, 1 down the middle like so, and then 1 off down like there. So we're just using these basic shapes to get these slightly more difficult things in. Then we've actually got Brook's shirt as well. The collar of his shirt goes up into these points, so I'm going to start from around about here, just off of this zone, I'm just going to create a point that goes off about here, about as far out as the edge of this guiding line for Brook's body, and it's going to go down to this point in here. So let's just turn that into a point there. Goes in line with where we've got our circles. Another very small point of a collar, just coming up here like so, and then just going to mirror the same thing on this side. Just creating a triangle shape that goes up and out, down and in towards the middle with a slight bit of curve, shoots off out ever so slightly again before coming back in. And then we can just join up the bottom of Brook's head with a couple simple rounded shapes which are going to be the bones of the neck, like so. Great. Now with Brook as well, he's got this wide kind of frame that he likes to stick out with these wide arms. So I'm going to take maybe this entire width of the body here and here, and I'm going to say let's go out that distance again, this far to about here, same thing on the other side, this far to about here, and by drawing these guiding lines here and here, I'm going to have the arms stick out a fairly equal distance. So straight from this shoulder, we're just going to stick out and make some tubes. Really simple. One tube goes out here, one tube goes out here. We'll have a little bit of a lump in the fabric about there, and really simple on this side as well. We'll just have a tube that shoots right out about here and right out like so, and then a lump in the fabric again. And he's got a bit of his jacket which is torn away, so I'm just going to create a rough tear shape around about here where we get to see a tiny bit of a bone of his arm, like that. Then these arms obviously come back in, and they're going to be coming, if you imagine this middle line, right up to the center line of the circle, here and here. We're going to go back to this point and this point. So I'm going to make that a tube just by getting it nice and wide, like so. I'm going to curve it off to create an elbow just outside the edge of that circle, and another tube like this, curved off into an elbow around about there. So these are the arms coming up, and right at this hairline, things are going to stop being the material of the jacket, and then we're going to have another little arc that comes just inside, not for the hands, but for the ruffle of the cuffs that come out of the shirt. So again, that's a very similar thing that we've done here. I'm just going to create this wiggly line all the way along this arc that I've just created, wiggly line, bring it in so it all tucks into the jacket like that, and then just a few random lines to come out just to show that it's material all being tucked in. And then now we've got to do the difficult part, Bones' hands and his peace sign. Fortunately, this peace sign is done in such a way that we get to map it all the way along here. So I'm going to, as a big cheat, I'm just going to create a lump that comes off of here, just a circle that's going to be most of either hand, and then I'm going to have a line just below the center line that follows right along parallel. That's going to be one finger. I'm then going to have a line off here that goes just above the eyes. That's going to be our next finger. And then now I get to just drop in the rest of things such as the thumb. So I'm going to create, just imagine a square comes off the bottom of this circle here, and a square corner comes off the bottom there. And now we're going to use these to build up all the different bones of the fingers. So the end bones are points, remember? So I'm just going to create a pointy shape here. Then I'm going to create a lumpy shape that goes at an angle there. Another lumpy bone shape that goes right in. And then right up to where we've got this circle arc, we've got the main bones of the hand. So I've got one big lump that goes there. Another one that goes here, up to the finger. And then because these other two fingers are tucked in this part of the circle, I'm just creating two downward points like that, and then some lumps up here that turn into lumps that go back down into the hand. It's not the easiest thing, but just get it vague and you'll be happy as pie. Then we've got the fingers up at the top as well. I'm just going to create some pointy lumps at the end once again. These are the tips of the finger bones. And then we've just got kind of bony lump that goes there, and one that goes there to meet down. Really similar, bony lump here, and one there. And then we're just going to mirror the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to start from this thumb, just get a bony lump about here. It's not going to be perfect, a bony one about there, but it is going to be simple. And then we're just going to have one big hand bone internal lump there, just drawing these different tubes in, and then in this part of the circle, pointing them downwards. Here's one pointing down, here's two pointing down, and then just lumps off the top, bones that come back in, like so, and then again, for ones that are going up towards the face. One pointy finger, two pointy fingers, and then lump, lump to finger, bony lump, finger. And that way we've got pretty much Brook's hands in. When I put some ink and pen on this, all we need to worry is about the outline. So it's going to help make things much easier for us as well. So in terms of bones, his hair. Now he's got a bit of hair that comes over the top and front of his skull. So again, squiggly line time, we're just going to very loosely map around something like this. He's got a great big afro. And then we're going to map down this side, loads of just really wiggly line shapes, just to be his hair, all the way down here, and all the way down here, and all the way up here. And then with bones from the first part of One Piece, he just has a hat that sits on top, and when he's in the later part, he's a Rock King as well. So I'm going to do the Rock King look. I'm going to use this gap here to really quickly just create a rectangle, and the rectangle is going to cover the top part of the head like so, and then I'm just going to draw two hearts that point towards the middle and touch each other. So I'm going to turn it this way really quickly and just draw one, if I get a line down the middle to help, one great big heart here. These are his shades, and then one great big heart here, just like so. Make them connect in the middle, and then I'm going to draw a smaller heart shape just inside this guideline. Same on this side, smaller heart shape just inside, and then two little bits that stick out the side, just like they're the tips of apples or something, just to be the frame. And as well, he's got this great big feather boa that he likes to use to rock out. Just checking, we're all still in focus. Great. And that again is fairly simple in that we're just going to create a line that goes behind all the collar and all the stuff, just floats down like so. Same here, floats down like so. I'm just going to make that a nice thick tube. So around about the bottom of the jawline, I'm just bringing another line in, just as if we're doing a really thick scarf. And now I'm just going to turn this into all of these feather shapes. It doesn't have to be perfect, just loads of curving points. And they can curve in different directions because they're all feathers just sticking out of place. A big orange scarf he wears, and then same on this side, just like so. And I'm just going up and out and in and down and around, and because I've drawn this guiding line first, I'm just making sure I follow down this line as I go on like this, like so, and all the way. So obviously what we're doing at this part is we're drawing the New World version of Brook, but if you wanted, you could always stop here and put a top hat on, and then you'll be doing the original version of Brook as well, in the first parts of One Piece. So we've got most of it in now, and now all we need to do, oh dear, I'm losing my voice, is either put a top hat on, simple circles, simple lines, or put on his Rock King crown. And again, that's just going to be a larger circular shape. It's going to be about as wide as his hair, and it tops off just the very top edge of that circle. So I'm just going to create this arc that goes kind of up here and kind of down there, and again just goes off around the back of the hair like so. It's got a tiny bit of thickness to it, so I'm going to create another line that just curves round here, And then the very top is just going to be from about this point here. So if you imagine we've split this space into 3 sections already, and it's just going to curve up and out and essentially off the top of the page, just like that. And then there's one curve here where the crown has a bit of design and texture and lump. So it's just a lump off here, and then a good curving tube that goes around there. Maybe another one there. Try not to turn the page. Normally I'd turn it around all the time. And then there's some circular bits just near the top of the crown. But that's all going off the page, so we don't need to worry about it too much. So let's have a quick double check. Kind of got the idea down. So this is one of the longer Draw Simple Easies, and I'll be fair, this is one of the slightly more complicated ones. But Brook, for a simple character, has lots of shapes going on. So I'm going to drop into some time lapse and do some inking on this, and just pay extra attention to what I do to just neaten up these fingers and hands, because this will be the real difficult area, and I'll see you guys right at the end. And there you have it, a nice, quick-ish, simple-ish picture of Brook from One Piece. Now I'm going to go ahead and scan this in. Obviously the hair, the eyes, nose, inside of the mouth is all going to be in black. Very, very dark grey, maybe a bit of purple on the suit. He's got the blue ruffles, the orangey yellow shirt bits, as well as his shades and crown are going to be some nice golden colours with some pink lenses. I hope you guys enjoyed having a go at home. Don't forget you can always show off your artwork on my Facebook page. Link in the description below if you've had a go, I'd love to see it. And don't forget to click like and subscribe for more videos in the future. Thanks a lot for watching guys, I'll see you next time. Bye bye!